Welcome back. We're now hearing about potential Ethereum upgrade delays, as we're also hearing about new Coinbase verticals, the Bitcoin God candle, and Sui and Maple get Wall Street buys. We have a lot to discuss in today's video. We're going to be going through all of this, showing you how much money Coinbase is actually making in some unexpected areas and what this means for the future of crypto. And this, as we are coming out of the first crypto summit at the White House happening at the beginning of March, um, there was a lot of kind of disappointment, I think, coming out of the crypto summit. A lot of people were expecting a Bitcoin reserve where the government would be buying Bitcoin on a regular basis, or other cryptos for that matter. But here's the deal, guys. There's a formal process getting put in place to create the beginning of a Bitcoin reserve and a strategic crypto stockpile. These two things alone should be bullish as hell and should bring us the God candle, as some people call it. And as you guys know, when you're charting, you have the green and red, people call candlesticks. And these are red handles or green handles. Typically, the green is the bullish handle, and the red is a bearish, and kind of the price is moving down. But we have God candles and what Samson Mao has deemed the Omega candle. So Samson Mao, who is a Bitcoin maximalist, and by the way, don't forget to give this video a free thumbs up. We upload as much as possible to bring you the latest happening in the financial world. So hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and if you want to help support, click the join button to learn more about becoming a channel member, or you can use the super chat down below in the comments. So Samson Mao, who is a major Bitcoin maximalist, he said, here's what worries me. Things haven't been that gradual with adoption so far. Disregard the impactful news that has yet to be digested, like the strategic Bitcoin reserve, and consider just Bitcoin strategies implemented. He said, I would have preferred that Bitcoin bonds were launched a few years ago. A few more countries adopted some strategies in 2023, and a few more major corporations started treasuries in 2024. Microsoft last year and GameStop a month ago would have been ideal. He said, now it really seems it's all coming to a head. Once the US strategic Bitcoin reserve news is fully understood and everyone starts on implementing Bitcoin strategies, it could all go very, very fast. Basically, the less gradual, practical movement, the more explosive suddenly will be. Expect Omega, plan accordingly. So effectively, what Samson Mao is alluding to with this Omega candle, if you've been following him for a while, is the $10,000 candle, right? Currently, you'll see sometimes, a $5,000 candle or a $1,000 candle on the day. But he's talking about an Omega candle of $10,000 or more in one day, in one move, one fair swoop to the upside or potentially to the downside, right? Now, we have seen moves $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 at a time, but we've never seen a full $10,000 Omega candle to the upside, or potentially $100,000 candle to the upside. But Samson believes that it is coming. Now, I do agree with him in the fact that the strategic Bitcoin reserve hasn't been fully digested by the markets yet, right? Because the markets looked at it as the strategic Bitcoin reserve. There's going to be no buying of Bitcoin. This was only going to be Bitcoin and crypto that the US government already has. And so there's really not going to be a change. But what David Sachs, the crypto czar for the US, has stated is there's never been an actual full audit on the crypto reserve or crypto that the government actually owns. There's conversation that some of it has been sold off, some of it they don't know where it is, all these other kind of issues. But beyond just the strategic Bitcoin reserve, there's still a lot of other things going on, right? Everybody wants another MicroStrategy. Everybody wants another, company to announce that they're going to be, issuing debt and then buying Bitcoin. I personally don't think that we're going to see this, especially the big companies, Microsoft, GameStop. They're not going to do this. They may take some of their cash on hand and put it into crypto, but remember, we're in a bull market. We're literally at all-time record highs. We're not at the cycle lows, where many other assets in crypto are still at cycle lows. Bitcoin is at cycle highs. And so buying in at this point, right, taking out debt to buy in at this point, I don't think that this is going to be the strategy that some of these companies are going to be taking on to buy Bitcoin. But we are seeing some other areas that Samson alluded to but didn't necessarily mention in his tweet. For instance, the OCC, which is the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, basically the banking regulator for the United States, their new guidance marks a shift in U.S. crypto banking regulations. And so to understand a little bit more about this, the OCC posted on their X page, the OCC reaffirmed crypto asset custody, holding deposits that serve as reserves backing stablecoins, and the use of distributed ledger technology and stablecoins to facilitate permissible payment activities are permissible in the federal banking system. Effectively, the banking regulator is telling the banks you can custody cryptos, you can hold deposits that back stable coins, and you can use distributed ledger or blockchain technology to facilitate these payment activities. And so what does this mean? This means that banks can now also transact in stable coins that are backed by the dollar, right? And they can hold the dollars that are minted to back the stable coin, right? So it's a checks and balance on this whole digital asset ecosystem, right? It's a proof of reserves from the actual banks. And so Jeremy Allaire, who is the co-founder and CEO of Circle, which oversees the USDC stablecoin, he said, "Let's go. Banks using USDC coming soon to a blockchain near you." He said, "We're excited about wiring up the existing financial system to the new internet financial system. The Circle Mint is open for business." So as I've stated, literally for years on this channel, USDC is the key, right? It was determined a long time ago, way before the current president, right? In the previous administration, it was determined that USDC would be the premier stablecoin of the United States. Who decided this? I don't know. When it was decided, I don't know. But that was decided, right? We saw the makings of it during the previous 4 years, during the previous cycle. And I told my viewers right here on this channel, I said, any crypto blockchain out here that is not fully integrated at a native level, meaning that Circle is issuing their coin directly on your chain, your coin's not worth anything. It literally is not worth anything. And I had people for years say, "Cryptoviser, you don't know what you're talking about. Cryptoviser, that's wrong. Cryptoviser, da da da." But Cryptoviser, you don't know what you're talking about. And meanwhile, that's literally what we're seeing happen. I'm going to show you, this is the Circle's website where you can see the interoperability where USDC is natively supported. It's natively supported on 18 blockchain networks. They are Algorand, Aptos, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, Celo, Ethereum, Hedera, Near, Noble, Optimism Mainnet, Polkadot, Polygon, Solana, Stellar, Sui, Unichain, and ZK Sync. If your favorite coin is not on this list, you need a new favorite coin. That's the bottom line. It's the bottom freaking line. USDC is the key because USDC is where the big money is going to be flowing into. The big money is going to be basically transacting. And to be part of that, your chain needs to be on it, right? To be part of that ecosystem of liquidity, your chain needs to be on it. And it's 2025, and there's still chains that are not even interoperable with Ethereum natively on an Ethereum bridge. And then they're saying, "Cryptoviser, we're going to get USDC. We're going to get it. We're going to get it." Well, I don't see it yet. Even Internet Computer, which I am a huge fan of. Many of you guys know I'm a huge Internet Computer fan. But even ICP, no USDC native or really non-native, right? And I know the Internet Computer community is going to say, "But Cryptoviser, Internet Computer has chain key technology, chain fusion technology. We don't need native USDC." Well, number one, Dominic, the founder of Dfinity, which is the development arm behind ICP, he has stated himself, I think in tweets or videos or both, and we've covered it on this channel, he has said, of course we would want USDC to be native. But until it's native, we have chain fusion USDC. I guess it's better than chains that don't have any USDC, including interoperable USDC. But internet computer does need native USDC, especially if it's going to be the compute network for AI, right, across the world. So this is not just coins that have been around for a very long time, or coins that people say that I'm a fudster for, but these are coins that I'm very bullish on as well. They need USDC integrated. And the faster they do that, the more liquidity they have access to in terms of the global world of finance. And that brings us to Coinbase. Now, you guys know Brian Armstrong is just coming back from a visit over at the White House from the Crypto Summit. He says this is a very bullish time. Coinbase, they're planning to hire 1,000 employees in the US this year as a result of their renewed growth. I don't know what 1,000 employees they would need, but again, Coinbase has a very large customer base and they're now publicly traded companies. So expanding is super important. And I would imagine that we're probably going to see some kind of like crypto or crypto company related kind of incentives at some point in the future. But understanding the Coinbase business lets me know that Coinbase, their verticals, or their kind of another way to put it is like their categories of business continue to grow. Brian Armstrong at the Morgan Stanley TMT conference said, quote, "We now have 3 business lines that have generated more than $700 million in revenue in 2024. So that's our trading business, our staking business, and our stablecoin business." Okay, so they made, I would say, in a transitory period when we were going from bear market to bull market, because that's what 2024 was. A lot of cryptos did excellent. Some cryptos did good. Very few did terrible, right? At least at some point during 2024. But yeah, this is very interesting because keep in mind, right? There are 3 verticals: or trading business, staking business, and stable coins. Trading business is just kind of based on where the market is. But as you have more adoption, right, especially from ETFs and all of this, this affects the trading business, not just for those large institutions, but for everybody else that's trading. Staking business. Staking business, this is really key because, again, we're talking about investing. So Coinbase is investable as an asset, right? You can invest in Coinbase as a company. From what I hear, Coinbase is also looking to tokenize their own stock on their platform. Therefore, you'd be able to buy Coinbase or tokenized version of Coinbase on the Coinbase exchange. This could be huge. We also know that Gemini exchange may be IPOing this coming year. At some point, they probably will. And that's going to bring more competition and more exposure to them as well. But going back to this, the staking business, previous administration basically told Coinbase that staking is security. Like just the mere technology of staking is a security. So if you stake for customers, you're engaged in securities fraud. That's basically what the SEC said without saying it. Now we have a new administration that seems like they're going to be very open to making staking not classified as a security, right? I don't think anybody really believes that it was, except for Gary Gensler. But if that's true, and then you have the ETFs can now stake, people in different jurisdictions can now stake, Coinbase can just enable staking on all their coins, boom, their staking business can grow exponentially as well. And the stablecoin business, we just talked about stablecoin regulation, stablecoin clarity for the banks. So this could create more money for them from a stablecoin business as well. So Coinbase, basically, just from reading this, has nowhere to go but up. I mean, even outside of the trading business, there are other 2 businesses, stablecoin and staking. It doesn't matter whether we're in a bull run or a bear market. They are still going to be making money, right? Maybe a little bit less money, but still going to be making money, right? They made 700 from each of these business lines. More comments. It said Brian Armstrong, by the way, this guy, he said he writes about publicly traded fintech companies at popularfintech.com. He said Brian Armstrong said we're up to about 600,000 Coinbase One subscribers now. It's been growing really well, including internationally, not just in the United States. That's a pretty big number, 600,000 Coinbase One customers. These are people who are paying to support Coinbase. They're paying to insure their account. They're paying to lower their fees. They're paying for the other benefits of Coinbase One, but it's basically a subscription service. And I've said on this channel prior, if you have Coinbase and you believe in what they're doing, because they didn't have to fight the SEC. They could have just shut down. There were companies that we saw during the bear market and the previous bull market even that shut down because the SEC just kept going after them, right? Ripple spent $250 million in their legal fees. And they're still dealing with the case. Coinbase, same situation. They just had their case dismissed by the SEC. They dropped their investigation into them. So think about how much money they were spending on that, right? And they still 600,000 customers were paying. And if you translate that to, let's see, 600,000 customers, I think the price is $20 or $30 a month. We'll just say $30 a month. So that's 18 million a month times 12 months in the year. It's about $220 million in US. And obviously some of that is a little bit different because some of the Coinbase One customers have the elevated tier, which I think is $2,000 a month, but that has like no fees. That's for like people who are trading very, very large amounts. Moving right along, Brian Armstrong said the next business lines for Coinbase are payments, Base, which is their blockchain, and Coinbase Developer Program. Specifically, he said, as I mentioned earlier, our core businesses today are trading, stablecoin, and staking. These each at scale now did more than 700 million of revenue last year, but there are a number of opportunities on the horizon, which these are an option, I guess. He said the option of value. These, I think, could be enormous. One of them I mentioned already is payments, right? So I won't elaborate on that. Another one is Base. So a few years, and I don't know, this is like chopped up, so bear with me. He said, even though the fees are very low, less than 1 penny, but the volume that's increasing, it can be really enormous opportunity for us. So Base, I'm very excited about it. I also mentioned CDP, which is the Coinbase Developer Platform. This is another big opportunity, taking the infrastructure we've built to power our own products and exposing it to third-party customers. And so we're seeing a lot of startups come in and use this. I think eventually it will kind of eat our way up the food chain into bigger, medium, and large enterprises. So very interesting kind of development, because as I've explained previously, like Coinbase is going to have its competition, especially now with the OCC clarifying that banks can custody and hold and all of this for crypto. Coinbase is going to have now the banks as direct competition. And if you don't think the banks are going to start offering these products, you're not paying attention. Fidelity already does, right? A lot of the digital payment platforms already do. So what's next, right? And this is going to cause issues for Coinbase and for Gemini, if Gemini goes public as well, because these companies have to continue to grow their business while competing with other businesses that are out there already that maybe have different business lines, like banks, right? Their business line is somewhere else. So they could take massive losses integrating crypto from their other business lines, making a lot of money, where crypto exchanges, they only have one real line of business, right? And so Coinbase has Coinbase custody, Gemini has Gemini custody for institutional players, and they take certain fees off of that as well. But at the end of the day, they need to find ways to increase their revenue streams while also providing good value and services or goods for their customers that are going to want to continue to pay for that. I think a lot of it is going to come down to security, peace of mind, custody solutions, and safety from that point, because people can still self-custody their coins. They can still trade on every platform. And so the fees are going to be an important aspect, and Coinbase kind of has this locked down with their Coinbase One subscriptions, because based on whatever subscription you choose, whether it's the lower tier or the higher tier, you can basically offset your fees to almost zero, if not zero. And a lot of the other exchanges don't have this. Eventually they will, just like traditional stock trading. There's basically no fees anymore for it. How long? What does this mean? Where are they going to make their money? Well, this is why it's important to understand that Coinbase and probably Gemini to the same degree, they're making their money not just from trading cryptos. They're making it from staking cryptos, from stable coins. And the stable coin thing is really important because basically they're acting as a bank, and banks make money from holding cash, right, for their customers. And so if they can give some of this cash back to their customers through rewards or through interest, this can be very helpful, right? I mean, right now you go to JP Morgan, you can, I think it was Wells Fargo or TD Bank or Bank of America. I don't remember which one. One of them, I was looking at the accounts the other day, and no, I think it was JP Morgan, and it said $1 million, $10 million, or $100 million, you're still going to get 0.001%. So you put in $1 million, they're going to give you $10,000 a year, or $1,000 per year. I'm like, what's the point of doing that, right? Especially if you can put it in Coinbase and hold it in USDC, and you're getting 5.5% or 5% or 4.5%. I mean, there's no question which you're going to choose, right? And so this is the issue that the banks have. They can't keep up with the yields that these stable coins are seeing. And what you're getting as a stablecoin yield from these exchanges, remember, the exchange is still making money on that yield as well. So very interesting to see how Coinbase is kind of rolling out, and they're still doing really well. I think this is going to be $1 trillion company in the future. I mean, it's only $50 billion right now. 20x would bring us to $1 trillion, which would be a $4,000 price. I'm sure we'll stock split before then, but just my opinion. Anyway, moving on, after the Bitcoin God candle and the Coinbase verticals, Ethereum developers postponed the Pectra upgrade following buggy tests. Now, before you guys get all hot and bothered about this, I'm actually not bothered at all, because what they're stating here is that they were going to make this new upgrade go live on the main net at the beginning of March. And when I read that like a week or two ago, I was like, it doesn't sound accurate, because previous reporting that I saw was that the Pectra upgrade was going to go live in April, which would be around the 1 year from the Bitcoin halving. Then I started hearing these March dates. I'm like, that seems a little early. Well, we normally have delays in crypto to begin with, and definitely in Ethereum's ecosystem. So I think that maybe we're kind of still in line for this April timeframe to see some things chugging along with Ethereum. But anyway, after 2 buggy test runs of Pectra on their testnet, this is the Ethereum's biggest upgrade since last year. The network developers decided to postpone the upgrade pending further test. It says when developers inked the test dates in January, they agreed to use March 6 to set a date for the Pectra to go live on the main net. If all went well, the expectation was the upgrade would go live in March. Well, the decision to postpone came after Pectra's test on the Holsky and Sepolia testnets. Both encountered bugs. In both cases, the problems resulted from misconfigurations with the test rather than issues with the Pectra upgrade itself. So it's being delayed because of the test, not because of the technology. Interesting. Under normal circumstances, the 2 tests would have been enough. However, due to the bugs, developers determined that Pectra should undergo additional testing before it goes live on the main network. So a researcher at the Ethereum Foundation said it seems like we need more information before we really set a concrete date. Now, again, I've been following Ethereum for years, since I started this channel back in 2018. Literally every single upgrade gets delayed. I don't know, we've talked about this before on the channel. I don't know whether they are actually delaying because of technology, or they're delaying because the market conditions are not precise yet. Because as we theorized on this channel previously, there are specific events that occur in crypto: upgrades, new integrations, new announcements, new partnerships, all these type of things that occur typically either right before or right at the market starting to go higher. Now, again, this could be for many reasons. One, it could be the price is going up and then we get into a bull market because of these announcements, because of these integrations, because of these partnerships. Or we are going up because of other external factors, right? Maybe the treasury yield, maybe the dollar index, maybe geoeconomic factors, or whatever the situation. And as the market's going up, all of these different crypto projects start making announcements to accelerate the upward movement, right? Or add boosters to the rockets to make it go even higher. Both of these could be true, by the way, at the same time as well, right? In my view, most of these projects time out their announcements, right? Like, take for instance, ASI, artificial superintelligence, the Fetch, Ocean Protocol, and Singularity Net merger. ASI merged in 2024, in the first half of 2024. We are now approaching the second half of 2025, and we still have no information about what this merger did, what they're doing, what they're integrating, what they're releasing, what they're working on, what they're not working on. We don't know anything. And so I look at a coin like this, I'm like, okay, during the next upswing in the market, we're either going to hear a lot from them or we're going to hear shit from them. We ain't going to hear anything. More than likely, we're going to hear a lot from ASI. And if not, well, expect the coin price to go down substantially. But yeah, I mean, I think that that's what is kind of happening. And so going back to Ethereum and their Pectra upgrade, maybe they're waiting for the prices to start moving to the upside. That way, they're not announcing a launch of a new upgrade during a downtrending market. Or maybe it's just going to kind of line up that the market starts moving higher towards the end of March, early April. And then the Ethereum researchers and developers state, okay, we're launching next week. And then the price goes even higher because those rockets just got propelled even further. Again, it could be for both reasons. But this doesn't make me any less bullish on Ethereum. I mean, for real. I don't know how anybody can go through like, okay, Pectra's being delayed, this upgrade is being delayed. Let me become bearish on Ethereum when Ethereum has not even reached all-time record highs. Will it? I don't know. But I would think Ethereum reaching all-time record highs is more probable than Solana reaching all-time record highs as a next event or next steps in the phases of this bull market. That brings us to DeFi. Crypto asset manager Bitwise deploys on DeFi platform with a Maple Finance partnership. Now, we went through a little bit more in detail on another video about this, but I think it's super important to understand. Number one, DeFi is a hot topic right now, not just with Bitwise and Wall Street, but also with, World Liberty Finance. What are they investing in? All DeFi. And Bitwise was the only asset manager outside of Grayscale that was doing these really like new and innovative things with these crypto funds before the ETFs were approved. And so Bitwise has made their first allocation into DeFi through a partnership with on-chain credit specialist Maple Finance. Bitwise's allocation, the size, which was not disclosed, is leveraging a Maple Bitcoin-backed lending product and represents a significant milestone in the adoption of on-chain credit by institutional allocators. Maple's Bitcoin-backed lending product is available to accredited investors in the United States. As digital versions of real-world assets become a normal component of traditional finance, firms are looking beyond things like tokenized treasury bills, particularly as interest rates have been dropping, while DeFi yields are seeing a resurgence. So they said who was this? Oh, the CEO of Maple Finance said, in this case, the yield from lending against Bitcoin is not a product that's already available anywhere else in traditional finance. Maple Finance packages this product in a way that is consumable by institutional asset managers. The move required Bitwise to do some pretty serious due diligence and background work, according to the Maple Finance CEO. He said, quote, "It was about 12 months of discussions and work in the background between our teams to pull this together. Bitwise is incredibly thorough, and this process involved working with their operations team, their legal and compliance team, their risk team, as well as tax advisors." So, what this tells me is Maple Finance is vetted and approved by one of the largest crypto asset managers in the world, Bitwise. And so, what does this tell me about Maple's ecosystem? What does this tell me about the real world assets? What does this tell me about DeFi? I mean, what does it tell you? It tells me this is going to have a very bright future. Maybe not Maple directly, but the DeFi ecosystem. Maybe not Ethereum directly, but the DeFi ecosystem. Maybe not Bitwise directly, but the entire DeFi ecosystem. These are growing. Wall Street is on board now. Wall Street's making investments. Guys, you understand what I'm saying. You understand what this all means for the future of finance. And it's not just Maple Finance. We're also now hearing that Trump affiliated World Liberty Finance is working on a deal with Sui blockchain, which is another DeFi protocol out there. We know Sui surged this past week on news that Trump affiliated decentralized finance protocol World Liberty Finance struck a strategic reserve deal with the layer one blockchain project, Sui. So the agreement includes World Liberty Finance adding Sui assets to its crypto holdings. The two projects will also explore product development opportunities. Zach from the World Liberty Finance team said, "We chose Sui for its American-born innovation combined with impressive scale and adoption. Given our plans to support foundational DeFi assets in the coming months, collaborating with Sui was an obvious decision." Follow the money, guys. Follow the money. And the money is going into crypto. The money is going into these interoperable, highly interoperable chains that have integrations with stable coins that are regulated in the United States. There is so much happening. It's happening very rapidly. It's happening very fast. But if you pay attention, you can figure out where the best investments in these markets are. And I think that you guys pretty much get it. Let me know what you think down below in the comments of the video. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you want to help support the channel. Click the join button down below to learn more about becoming a channel member, or you can use the super chat button right down below in the comments. I'll see you guys tomorrow or when I see you. Crypto on.